Salesperson A has very low conviction, but they have all of the skills. They have the tool bag of the tricks and the gimmicks and the word tracks. They maybe have a script. Salesperson B, they have very high conviction, but they don't have all the gimmicks. They don't have all the tricks. They don't have all the certain special things to say, but which closer is going to sell more? Which high ticket closer is going to earn more money? If you said closer B, the one who has the high conviction, even though they don't have all of the special gizmos and gadgets and how to say this and how to say that and the tonality for this, you would be correct. Having trained Alex Hormozi's old gym launch sales team, having earned over $100,000 a month in commissions myself, closing over $1 million a month in cash collected, and now taking 5 high ticket closers to all earning over $100,000 a month in commissions, what I can tell you is the closer that closes the most is the closer who has the highest level of conviction. The problem is, most high ticket closers don't have a training plan or a blueprint or any type of step-by-step guide for how to develop conviction, certainly not how to master your conviction. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to have unshakable conviction as a high ticket closer so that you can close more deals, so you can earn more money, so you can build the life of your dreams. Right now, we're actually on set. We're at Cabo in Mexico. We have our next in real life Unicorn Closer Mastermind event for members of the mastermind, which is the mastermind that I run for high ticket closers that want to be in the top 1% of closers that exist. But not just the top 1% of income earners, they want to be what we call unicorns. Closers who are able to earn life-changing money, not by reading a script, not by memorizing word tracks, but by actually becoming more as a person. And one of those pieces to become more is to develop a level of conviction, to develop a level of certainty in who you are and your communication. One of the reasons we do the in-person events is because coming to an experience with other unicorns, other closers earning over 100K a month in commissions, staying in 5-star hotels, staying in mega mansions, taking private jets, going to places you've never been before, simply getting outside your comfort zone is one of the things that will develop unshakable conviction in you. But I'm going to walk you through specifically a 5-star framework for how to develop conviction. Now, why 5-star? Because a star has 5 points, if you're drawing a cartoon one, and your conviction is like a gravity. Now, if you know anything about physics or space or whatever, the star that is the biggest is the star that has the strongest gravity. If a planet or a star is bigger, it will have much stronger gravity. And so when you think of your conviction, if you imagine it like on a chart like this, you've got a vertical line and a horizontal line, and on that chart you've got this star. The bigger we grow the star, the more the gravity it has, which is the gravity you have as a closer, your conviction, and the more you suck in your prospect. Now, when you suck in your prospect because you have more gravity, what happens? You don't have to worry so much about what to say. You don't have to force your prospects to open up to you. You don't have to worry about hard closing your prospects. The gravity of who you are as a person is really what we mean when we say being a leader. Someone who your prospects naturally want to have a deep conversation with, the truthful conversation, also the difficult conversation, and you're not using any specific tactics to make this happen. Your prospects are simply being sucked in to your gravity. And so when we talk about having unshakable conviction, we need to increase the size of the points of the star, the 5 points, which gives it this much larger space, much larger size, and that gives you much larger gravity. So what are those 5 different points? The first thing to understand is that when people hear the word conviction as a salesperson, they don't realize that you can't just have conviction. You have to have conviction about certain things. So for example, if I said I have conviction about life, then I'm talking about life. If I said I have conviction about sales, I have conviction about sales. As a high ticket closer, there's 5 different things that you need to specifically have conviction about that are relevant, useful, and powerful for you as a high ticket closer on a sales call. And so let's get into the 5 different ones. Now, the first one is the foundation. The first point of conviction on the star, remember we've got this star, so you've got point here, 2 points there, and then 2 points there. And we're trying to make this star bigger so we have more conviction. You need to have conviction around the industry of selling. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let me ask you, what does selling mean to you right now? Is selling manipulating people? Is selling convincing people? Is selling getting someone to do something? If you feel those things, then your belief, which is what conviction is a very small, very weak, and we could say on the point of the star that we're talking about right now, the star is very, very small. So you need to change that. You need to change your belief around what selling is to increase your conviction on one of these points. So what would that look like? Well, to me, selling is actually God's work. I view selling as service. I view selling as sacred. I view selling as helping people that are good people, but sometimes they're just stuck in their own way, like I've been. That's why I have a sales mentor. If you're honest with yourself, you probably also get stuck in your own way. And so you have to reframe or reshift your entire belief around what selling is. So if you want to actually follow along here, get a piece of paper out, get a pen, and ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a very positive belief, 0 being very negative beliefs around sales, where would you put yourself right now? Do you view sales in a very positive way? You think it's amazing, it's God's work, it's sacred, it's truly serving people, it's truly helping people, it's making a difference in the world? Or do you view it as the opposite? Do you view it as some kind of like cheesy, sleazy, fake, inauthentic profession? So put it on a scale of 1 to 10. And then what you want to do is you want to be honest with yourself. If you're at a 4 or 5, ask yourself, how much do you think that's affecting your commissions? How much money do you think you're losing because of the fact that your belief, your conviction around the profession of sales is so low? That means, looking at the star, although we've got 4 more points to go through here, your star is very, very small. So you don't have any gravity to suck your prospects in. How could you ever suck your prospect in when your view of selling is so negative? All right, so that's number 1. Let's get into number 2. The second one is your belief around yourself. Now, belief around yourself means, do you believe in yourself? Do you have confidence in yourself? Do you view yourself as someone courageous? Do you view yourself as someone that's willing to get out your comfort zone? It's pretty simple if you're honest with yourself. The problem is most people aren't honest with themselves. That's why they don't develop conviction, because they can't first get a real, true assessment of where they're at. But same question again, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you view yourself as someone that's highly capable, highly competent, someone that's always getting out your comfort zone? Put yourself at a 10 out of 10 if you do. If you're someone that views yourself as, yeah, you know what, I'm always making excuses, I'm always rationalizing, I'm always playing small, I'm always fearful, I'm always in a negative emotional state, I don't have a routine, I don't have a positive environment around me, can't control my emotions. By the way, these are all things that I teach how to fix inside the Unicorn Closer Mastermind. Have a program in there called the Launchpad. Takes you through all the different pieces of internal mastery that I also taught Alex Hormozi's old gym launch sales team. Took them to their highest close rates in over a year. So, in conclusion, on the second point of the star, whether it's a big star, small star, depends on your conviction, your belief around these 5 points, is your belief around yourself. 10 out of 10, super positive. You think you're the type of person that can accomplish anything. 0 out of 10, you're the type of person that you view yourself right now. I'm not saying you are this person, by the way. I'm saying this is how you currently view yourself. If you're honest with yourself, 0 would be you just look in the mirror and you don't view yourself as someone that can actually achieve the things that you want to do because of all the excuses that you make. Well, if you view yourself in that way, how are you going to have any conviction around yourself on a sales call with a prospect? And therefore, how is your prospect going to be sucked into your reality? So that's point number 2. Third point on the star is your belief around other people. Now, this one's really interesting because the second point was a belief around yourself, and the third point is a belief around other people. These two are often mirrors of each other. It's very difficult to have a more powerful, more empowering belief around other people than you do of yourself. We're not going to go down the rabbit hole of quantum physics and spirituality of why that is, because actually other people are usually a reflection of you. But in simple terms, if you view yourself as someone that makes excuses, rationalizes, doesn't invest money, spends ages to make a decision, things that you probably get as prospects on your sales call, the likelihood is that is how you are as a person. So third one is your belief around other people, especially prospects. Every prospect that turns up to your sales call, do you expect them to be someone that invests money in themselves, someone that gets outside their comfort zone, someone that is willing to be courageous and make a big decision on a sales call, someone that's willing to back themselves? Or is your usual expectation on a sales call that your prospects are going to just be weak, fearful, allow their fears to control their decisions, make excuses, and not take action? Well, as I said before, that's usually a reciprocal or a reflection of how you view yourself. But we're going to separate it out just so you can see the individual points here that create conviction. So this third one here is your view around other people. Scale of 1 to 10, same thing again. Do you view other people as amazing, people that are wanting to grow, wanting to self-actualize, or do you view the average person through a very negative lens? Now, if you're watching this video and you're not earning the money that you want as a high-ticket closer, the likely honest answer is that you truly look down on people, you patronize them, whether it's out loud or in your head, probably in your head, and you just think, oh, another prospect, or another prospect of this age, this gender, from this country, of this background, oh, another broke prospect, and you're constantly looking down on prospects. One of the things I teach to my members inside the mastermind is that it doesn't matter if a prospect says on their application form or in the discovery when you ask them questions about their job that they don't have much money, because I have seen more times than I could count, and so have my students that I've taught this to, that a prospect can say they have no money, but if you don't allow that belief to percolate, to expand into reality, you can actually find that through the discovery and through your conviction, through your belief, that by the end of the discovery, they all of a sudden have money, even though there's no obvious way to understand why they would have ever had money. So third one is your belief around other people. Let's get into the fourth one. The fourth one is your belief around your offer. Now, you're probably not on a great offer if you're watching this video right now, and you have to realize that no sales tactic, no objection handling line, no word track, no script can do much if you're selling something that you don't think is sliced bread, is the best thing on the planet that your prospect should have right now. There's nothing that you can say that will fix the black hole, using the star and the space analogy here, the black hole of a lack of conviction that you have around your product. Vice versa, if your belief around your product or your service or your offer is so strong, in my opinion and my experience, whatever it is that you need to say about the product to close the prospect will just pop into your head, because it's going to come from a source, the words, they're going to come from a source of conviction. So it is imperative that you find yourself on an offer that is producing world-class results. And it's not essential, but it's definitely beneficial to be on an offer that's something that you're interested in. When I was first selling, I was selling a dating offer. At the time, I thought it was incredible how these founders were able to help guys that maybe had never dated the women that they really wanted to date to all of a sudden start going on dates. And some of them ended up sending us baby photos. They ended up getting married. We got invited to weddings, had baby showers. And so that gave me so much conviction on a sales call for things like having a deep conversation, having a challenging conversation. I very rarely, if ever, got objections, but if I did, my objection handler, when someone said, oh, $15,000, it was $14,000 for a dating service is a lot of money, my objection handler would be to just say nothing. Because I had conviction that this was the right thing for them, it was the best option for them, it was a life-changing program. So I didn't fall into placating or being subservient to the prospect's limiting beliefs or their objections. And that all came from conviction around the offer, conviction around the product or the service. So that is the fourth one. And so again, scale yourself on 1 to 10, or 0 to 10 actually. 0 being the thing that you sell, you aren't certain, and this is key, the wording that I'm using here. You're not certain. It's not, well, it might be a good program or it might be okay. Because when we're talking about conviction, especially around your product or your offer that you're selling, maybe, possibly, could be, okay, is a 0. And this is really important with conviction. If it's not certainty, and then you can have certainty at different degrees, certainty different levels. For example, you could say, I'm certain enough that I would try and sell this person if they have a load of money in the bank. A higher level of certainty would be, I'm certain enough that this is the best program for them and they should absolutely do this, that even if they have no money, I'm certain enough that they should do this to take out a credit card or to take out a loan. So there's different degrees of conviction. But going back to the main point here with the scale of 1 to 10, if you do not have certainty that the product or the offer that you're selling is fantastic, then that's a 0. So you have to be honest with yourself about that and then look at getting on a new offer. One of the ways we help closers get on a new offer inside the mastermind is we have an offer network. We have loads of closers, sales managers, and offer owners. And through being inside the mastermind, through actually investing in yourself, showing that you're training, you're living by higher standards, you want to be the best closer out there, the top 1% of closers that exist, very easy to land on a better offer when you're in the right environment. So if you scaled yourself pretty low down on the 0 to 10 for conviction around your offer or service, you have to start making moves to fix that, because no word track is going to fix the problem that you have with your conviction. All right, so we're now on to the 5th and final point of the star, which is all of the key pieces that build the relevant conviction as a high ticket closer. And obviously, as I said at the start, but just a quick reminder, the more belief you have around those 5 different things, and we'll get into number 5 right now, the bigger the star. The bigger the star is, which is your star, your shining star of conviction, your shining star of gravity that is going to suck your prospects in. And so what is the 5th and final one? The 5th and final one is your conviction around the way that you are selling, so your methodology. And the reason that this is so important is if the way that you're selling, using scripts, using word tracks, faking your tonality, just being fake in general, is something that deep inside of you, you have a conflict with, you have some type of friction with, then you are not going to have conviction as you utilize your sales tactic, your sales methodology on a sales call. This is a big reason why closers end up joining the Unicorn Closer Mastermind that I run, is because the way of selling that I teach is self-actualized selling. So selling more by actually becoming more as a person. And what that is doing is it is rebalancing the incongruence that most high ticket closers feel about the fact that they're using leadership or influential tactics when deep inside they are not a leader yet. They haven't actually developed influence over themselves. So when closers make that shift, if you made that shift, if you felt this way, by the way, some people just, in my opinion, they're just narcissistic. They don't have any morals. They don't have any true integrity. That's just my opinion on this. But if you made this change, going from selling in a way where deep inside of you, you feel out of alignment, to a way where you do feel out of alignment, all of a sudden, when you're using the specific questions to challenge someone, you're using a certain tonality, not because you memorized it, but because naturally now you are using an authentic, challenging tonality or whatever, or you're sitting in silence at the objection handling stage of a sales call. When you now use those tactics, the mechanics, should we call it, it is now coming through a gravity of conviction. Because now all of a sudden, the things that you're actually doing, they are coming from a place that you believe in them. Whereas what most closers have is the exact opposite. They have these things that they've been practicing, things that they've been memorizing, things that they've been learning because they want to sell more, but deep inside of them, they don't feel like they should be using those methods, or they have some type of belief that those methods are disingenuous. Think about that. Do you think your prospects can feel that? Do you think your prospects can feel the fact that what you're doing to them is not something that you're doing for them, it's something that you're doing because you are trying to manipulate them, you're trying to get something out of them? My opinion, my experience, the experience of my mentor, the experience of closers inside my mastermind is absolutely your prospects can feel this. So if you're not closing, despite the fact that you've got some methodology that you've been spending time, money, and energy to learn, but the methodology isn't working, it's highly likely it's not working because you don't have conviction around the methodology. Now, just to be crystal clear, this doesn't mean you don't have conviction that the methodology can work, because you've probably seen testimonials, you've seen other people using it, and you've heard people use it and thought, oh yeah, that objection handling line, I've heard it work. It's conviction around, is that how you want to close? There is a very subtle difference, but it is the difference that makes all of the difference, because that line is a line of alignment or a line of out of alignment. And when you're out of alignment, all of a sudden you lose all of your conviction, which also, by the way, is why you can see some people use a script, use tactics, use word tracks, use objection handlers and get results. But then when you're using it, it's not working. The real reason is that you have a higher level of consciousness, that where other people are using those methodologies and they don't feel disingenuous, like I said, maybe some psychopath or some narcissist, they don't feel an issue. They're not out of alignment. They just don't have the brain capacity to feel on a higher level things like spiritual authenticity. You, on the other hand, if you're still watching this and you're resonating with this, you try those same methodologies, a script, fake word tracks, fake tonality, and it doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for you because deep inside of you, you have an authenticity that is now not in alignment. So let's go through those 5 pieces. Remember, these are 5 points to a star, because a star has gravity. The bigger the star, the more gravity. The smaller the star, the less gravity. And in sales, the more gravity you have is conviction. The conviction that's going to pull your prospects in, get your prospects to open up, make them trust you without even making them trust you. They just naturally trust you because you have that gravity. It allows you to go deeper with your prospects. They start opening up to have a real, authentic conversation, makes the conversations more enjoyable. You don't have to handle bullshit objections at the end of the call. You don't have to do follow-up. Ultimately, you just close more deals by having a more powerful conversation. That allows you to serve more people, which is one of the beliefs, by the way. And by serving more people, you're able to make more money, live the life of your dreams. So what are those 5 different things? Number 1 is conviction around the industry of sales, the profession of sales. Do you have conviction that it's something good, something great, something that is God's work? Or do you unfortunately have conviction right now that is negative conviction? You believe that it's sleazy, cheesy, manipulative, and it's just something that's a job for you, a job. You clock in, you clock out, you have to close some people. Those 2 things are going to have a massive impact on your close rate as a closer, depending on if you have positive conviction or negative conviction. The second one is your conviction around other people. Do you view people as powerful? Do you view people as people that get out their own way? They take action, they make decisions, they invest in themselves, they don't make excuses, and people that are more brave and more courageous than you ever thought they could be? Or do you have negative conviction around people? You think they're lazy, excuse makers, liars. A big one I hear from high ticket closers is they think their prospects just lie all the time. If you have these beliefs, number 1, you're projecting those beliefs, but number 2, your lack of conviction in your prospects is going to repel them, as opposed to you having really strong positive belief that would suck in your prospects. Third one is your belief around yourself. Do you view yourself as someone that is brave, someone that invests in yourself, someone that can learn to sell without a script, someone that can do the deep inner work to become the next level version of yourself? Or do you view yourself as, they say, someone that has a fixed mindset, someone that just cannot grow, cannot become more? When you look in the mirror, you have to be honest with yourself about this. The fourth one is your conviction around your offer. Do you believe that it is an offer that is delivering world-class results, changing people's lives, helping and serving people? Or do you think, well, it's something that will make me some money, but I don't really know if the clients actually get results? Well, that's a hugely important conviction metric that you need to be aware of. And then the 5th and final one is your methodology, how you sell. If you're using tactics, if you're using mechanics that you don't actually believe in, number 1, they won't work. But number 2, you lose all of your conviction, even if you were trying to have a good conversation, even if you believed in yourself, even if you believed in other people. Because without the conviction in the way that you're selling, you might be trying to do the right thing in the wrong way. And because you're doing it in the wrong way, you don't have conviction. And then whatever mechanically you're trying to do, it likely won't be working. So those are the 5 points. Build those 5 points of conviction and imagine it like a star. You have the 2 points here, the 2 points there, and the point at the top. The more conviction you have, the bigger the star. You want to be the biggest star in the universe when it comes to high ticket selling. You then have the most gravity, and that gravity is going to suck your prospects in. And as you suck your prospects in and you lead them and you serve them through your conviction, you will also suck into your life a life-changing amount of money. The more conviction you have, the more money you're going to suck into your life, because you're bringing people in and you're then leading them through your conviction. That is what allowed me to earn over $100,000 a month in commissions. I've taken 5 high ticket closers now to all earning over $100,000 a month in commissions by closing over $1 million a month in cash collected. So as I said at the start of this video, the conclusion is this: which closer are you? Closer A has very low conviction, but has all the tactics. Closer B has extremely high conviction, and they don't have all the perfect word tracks. Which one of those closers is gonna sell the more, earn the most money, and live the life of their dreams? It is Closer B, who has the most conviction. They have that 5-point star, as big as it can possibly be. You now need to decide, do you wanna be Closer B that has unshakable conviction so you can earn life-changing money and so you can build the life of your dreams?